What's going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. In this video today, I want to talk about some of the recent successes that I have been able to make in the Counter-Strike investing markets. Now, over the past couple months, I've made a couple videos documenting some of my failures, and those videos have actually done pretty well. And people have said they want to see me talk more about how some of my investments or some of my trades or how some of my different things that I have attempted have gone. Now, just, coincidentally, some of the first couple things that I had to make video ideas about were things that went negatively or things that went poorly or whatever. And I think so oftentimes we get caught up in what we're doing or what we're doing right now at this time or what we're about to do next that we don't often enough look back and evaluate some of the things that we've done, what's gone bad, what's gone poorly, whatever. So hopefully these videos are entertaining. Hopefully there are ways to document some of my journeys and some of the things that I've done and document some of the thought processes and how I've made mistakes and successes and all that stuff. But also it's a way for me to kind of self-reflect while making a video and making content at the same time. So I think this should hopefully be fun. Like I said, so far we've had a couple negative videos and a couple of things that have gone not so well on the channel so far. But today and over the past month or so, a lot of things have gone well in a couple of different ways with my cash trading business or with my own investments or with my own ideas or theses or whatever. So I want to talk about a bunch of different examples and go over some of my thought processes for those. And hopefully, there's something you guys can learn or take away from this video. So with that being said, let's get right into this. I think the first most important thing to note is just because, I have a certain thought process or I have a certain idea or I think something's going to go a certain way and then it either does or doesn't go that way. Say I have an idea and it ends up turning out negatively, or I have an idea and it ends up turning out well, that doesn't mean that that thought process was technically correct or reproducible or, totally incorrect or totally wrong or whatever. It's possible to have a right idea and for it to not work out, and it's possible to have a terrible idea and for it to work out. So you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to, listen to my thought process, listen to why I made the decisions I made, and then evaluate them for yourselves. Don't be results oriented, but again, I think it is okay to look at the results sometimes because that starts to build up your track record and hopefully starts to build up some credibility if you're making some correct, plays every once in a while. But first, I want to talk about Fnatic Paris Hollows. Now, these have been one of the main things I've been talking about on my channel. I think the Fnatic Paris Hollow is one of the best stickers from the entire Paris collection. I think it has so many similarities between the Cloud9 Antwerp Hollow that we've seen do so well. I think it's a unique sticker, a cool color, huge fan base, iconic franchise. So many good things going for it. It's a unique borderless sticker, the only borderless Fnatic, in kind of the modern borderless era or whatever. I think it has a lot of good things going for it. Now, I've invested a lot in this in my own personal portfolio. A little bit over $1,000 I have in just Fnatic Paris Hollows. My average cost basis is $5.36 or $5.36, and I know when I made my Paris portfolio video, people were like, "Wow, your cost basis on your stickers are all really, really high." Again, this is because I bought my stickers from the Steam community market, so a lot of people are comparing my Steam community cost bases to their buff prices that they're used to. Now, I'm American. I don't have a buff account. I don't have access to buff, and it's not really possible to buy stickers in bulk on any other third-party marketplace for any kind of decent prices. So I've been buying on Steam. I'm probably going to be selling on Steam, so as long as I'm comparing like prices, it should still be okay. Then eventually, I'll try to cash out on another website or just have, balance that I end up buying with other things or whatever. So, people were like, "Oh, wow, I can't believe your cost bases are so high." Again, my cost basis right now for Fnatic is $5.36. And Fnatic sits today at around $5.78. So from my $1,000 that I've bought of Fnatic during the sale, I'm up on that right now. So that is one thing that has gone well. But another thing that has gone well surrounding me and the Fnatic Paris Hollow is the fact that also I partook in a cash trade. And again, people were saying, "Oh, be careful about buying Paris stuff in cash trades or be careful about buying the new stuff in cash trades because it's going to be volatile. Stuff's going to go up and down. You don't know what's going to happen, yada, yada, yada." Well, I spent a lot more money on Fnatic Paris Hollows in a couple of big cash trades. On September 25th, I bought 110 Fnatic Paris Hollows, and then again on October 2nd, I bought 40 more. So I bought almost 150 Fnatic Paris Hollows in total in cash trades on top of what I already have in my personal portfolio. So I ended up with this very, very massive position in Fnatic Paris Hollows, and I was okay to do that or willing to do that because I believed in them so much. And if you have conviction, you should put your money where your mouth is. I generally do believe in that. So again, if we take a look at where I bought these things on September 25th, again, I bought around 100, 110, whatever. And at this time, it was about $5.23. Now, obviously, I bought these for buff prices, and I bought these for even below buff prices because in general, cash trading, you're going to pay like 90% buff or whatever. But just using the Steam graph to show where prices have gone, on September 25th, I bought a lot of these at, let's say, $5.23. And since then, again, we are up from there. So that was a good trade. And then again, I bought more on October 2nd, where prices were around 485. And again, we are significantly up from there. So not only have I been able to so far, see some good gains in the Fnatic Paris Hollows that I have bought for my own personal portfolio. I also bought more for cash trading. Again, I think what you can learn from this is if you have conviction, if you have a good thesis, you have something you believe in, and it makes some sense, don't be afraid to, have a high concentration of that in your portfolio. Yes, it's risky, and yes, if Fnatic goes to shit, I'm going to lose a lot of money, yada, yada, yada. But I believe in this. I believe strongly in this. I've been putting my money where my mouth is, and so far I'm up in a couple different ways on Fnatic Paris Hollows, so I think that has been good. Next up, one of the biggest decisions I have made really in my CS investing career was with the blue phosphor. I bought this blue phosphor on August 27th for a really, really good price. Again, I got it for around 90% buff. This was in a cash trade. If we kind of zoom out a little bit, we can see August 27th. Where are you? August 27th. The blue phosphor was around $880, let's say. $880. Again, I got it for about 90%, so I got it for even less than that. And I was in a tough spot because I was trying to make a decision. Again, I don't love the blue phosphor in general. I think the blue phosphor looks amazing in CS2. I do love it. I loved owning it and getting to use it in game. I think it's great. And throughout the history of CS, we'll see how it does. But so far, previously, before it got this giant buff in CS2, the blue phosphor wasn't really an amazing investment. You can see that throughout the history of the blue phosphor, it had been pretty flat. It had been pretty up and down. This doesn't really look like an amazing graph of the skin I would want to invest in. Now, again, obviously, things change drastically when the blue phosphor gets this huge update for CS2, but a lot of the hype and a lot of the gains and everything, a lot of the speculation was just with the new buffs it's getting in CS2 and how good it looks. And yes, all of a sudden everybody loves the blue phosphor and the prices are exploding, but we don't have a huge long track record of the blue phosphor being an amazing investment, and skins in general just aren't the most amazing investment. In general, if I can sell out of a skin that I don't even necessarily believe in that much and get some things that are better, like cases or stickers or whatever, I generally want to do that. But a lot of people were telling me not to sell my blue phosphor because they thought that once CS2 had this new big release that the blue phosphor is going to explode again in price. It's going to go even crazier. Like, why not just wait until after CS2 and sell? And again, my idea here was everyone was waiting until CS2 to sell. Everyone was telling me to wait until CS2 to sell. And if everyone is waiting until CS2 to sell, prices are going to drop, and that's not going to be the peak of the price, and it doesn't make sense. Why would I sell when everyone else is selling, especially if it's something I don't believe in? Why wouldn't I sell at what I consider a good price? So I bought this thing on August 27th. This is not a good zoom in of this graph. So I bought this thing on August 27th, whatever, for around $880, a little bit less again. And I ended up selling it a couple weeks later on September 5th, where prices were around $1,100, $1,079, whatever. Again, that's a nice little come up from $880 to $1,080. And if you look at prices today, the blue phosphor is sitting at around $875 on the Steam Community Market. So again, I bought it right around when prices were like $880-ish, sold it when prices were close to $1,100, and prices have since come back down to $880. Now, part of that is because the CS2 release was pretty lackluster. Part of it was because a lot of people were selling when the CS2 release came out. Again, I was really, really happy with how this trade played out because there were some, people in the scene who were telling me to not sell the blue phosphor, to wait, to hold on to it and sell it when I'm going to be able to probably make more money off it. And that didn't make sense to me. I went with my own gut. I sold it off, and that actually went really, really well. I bought it at a great price, sold pretty close to the top of the market, and now prices have come back down. And if I wanted the blue phosphor again at the same prices that I got it on August 27th, it's literally those same prices right now. I could buy it again and just keep the profit. But I don't want it. But if I did, that's what I could do. So I was really, really happy. This worked out awesome. Another idea that I had, and I've talked about some videos recently, was a couple different things from Stockholm. One, I thought that the Stockholm Contenders capsule was absolutely the capsule to have. Now, for the longest time, the Challengers capsule has been the best capsule for Stockholm, but when I had been looking at the numbers since Antwerp came out, and obviously in the time that Antwerp's come out, Paris has come out as well, the Challengers capsule has not been the best performing capsule. It's actually been the Contenders capsule. And I think the biggest reason to do with that is because of the Maus Paris Hollow taking a big hit to the Stockholm Paris Hollow, and in turn taking a big hit to the Challengers capsule. And I think the Contenders capsule has so many amazing stickers in it. You have Copenhagen, you have Entropic, you have Godsent, you have Virtus Pro, you have Sharks, you have Tyloo. There's so much good stuff in Contenders. So, hey, I started loading my money in Contenders. I think I bought like $500 or $600 worth of Contenders capsules. And since then, the Contenders has performed better than the Challengers. And Contenders is actually more expensive than Challengers now. So that was another big win. Also, again, I saw that Maus was not the best performing sticker in Stockholm since the release of Antwerp and the release of Paris. So when I went to buy an expensive sticker, I was not buying Maus. I actually started buying Tai Lu, and since then Tai Lu has outperformed Maus, and Tai Lu is now the most expensive sticker in Stockholm as well. So there was a couple of really, really good reads on my part, and that was mostly not even like a thesis or idea or anything I had. That was just strictly looking at the data and looking at returns since the release of Antwerp. Something that's not hard to do, something that anybody can do by going and simply looking at some charts and writing down some data and doing some math and stuff like that. But I crunched the numbers, found a good investment, and hey, I've been able to have, make more money by investing in Contenders and in Tai Lu than I would have if I went with Challengers and Maus instead. Again, nothing crazy there, but it did work out pretty well. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about, and the most recent dub that I've kind of had, and it's been going quite well, is on September 25th, I bought 1,000 Stockholm capsules. Now, they were all different kinds. I think I bought like 600 Legends, like 200 Contenders, and like 200 Challengers. Obviously, I don't like Legends very much. I wouldn't want to load up on Legends or anything like that. But again, this is a cash trade, so I got them all at a great deal. And obviously, I like Stockholm, and I thought especially once the Paris sale ends, and just going forward in the future, that Stockholm will perform quite well, all the capsules. So I didn't mind loading up and doing my biggest cash trade ever in so many Stockholm capsules, and just kind of taking a look at how that's done since then. Again, if we go back to September 25th, right around my bottom, 568, this is the Contenders. Contenders is now up to 615, again from 568 around the day that I bought it to 615 today. That's a nice little return in just a couple of weeks, and I've been able to sell them off. And again, I got this stuff for around 90% buff as well, so even lower than these prices, and I'm still able to sell them off at market rates. If we look at Challengers, which again I got about 200 of those as well, if we look back to September 25th, around 649, these are actually down to 625. Challengers has been the hardest for me to sell so far. I'm sitting on the most. Contenders has been selling by far the best. I'm making a killing on the Contenders so far. The Legends has been selling okay. The Challengers have not been selling so well because Challengers up and down. Maus is taking a hit, all that stuff. So I am sitting on Challengers. Maybe that's the biggest L out of this whole thing, but I still think Challengers are going to be okay because, again, even though I got these at not the best prices, it's still I got them for about 90% buff and stuff like that. And then finally, if we look at Legends, dating back to 925, around 211 back here, and we're around 229 right now. So Legends had a little bit of a come up. So Contenders has been a big dub. Legends has been a small dub. Challengers maybe a little bit of an L, but overall, I don't mind holding Challengers into the future. I still think it's going to go up. I still think it's going to do well. And again, that was just from me noticing that, hey, people love the borderless stickers. Stockholm's great. Stockholm took a big hit once Paris came out, but still over time, it should hopefully be able to recover. And I think these are kind of local lows. And I think Stockholm, Antwerp, and Paris are just going to go up from here until Copenhagen comes in and wipes them out or whatever. But for right now, I don't think buying a bunch of Stockholm is a bad idea. And so far, I've already been able to sell off a lot of these capsules and start making a decent profit. But that is just some of the craziness. Obviously, I've been all over the place, been buying a ton of things, selling a ton of things, cash trading a ton of things. I've definitely had a ton of dubs and Ls, but I know you guys said you wanted me to document more of my kind of journey and more of the things I'm doing, and hopefully you guys can learn from this. These are some of the things that I've been winning on lately. I don't want to, I'm not trying to brag or like say I'm amazing or awesome or whatever, but again, I hope this does add some credibility to some of the things I'm doing, and also hopefully you guys can learn from some of the thought processes or some of the analysis or some of the research that goes into this. And again, just because these things worked out doesn't mean my thought process or my ideas were flawless. It's possible to get lucky. It's possible to make an accident sometimes. But again, if you do a bunch of accidents in a row, maybe there's something to it. Again, it's still very, very early days in my career. We have no idea if I'm good, bad, terrible, amazing, whatever. We're going to find out. But I want to track it along the way and make some content for you guys. But that's pretty much it for this video today. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Until then. Peace.